And we are live. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Good Monday.
Yes, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. So how is everyone? I wonder.
Yes, so what I'm going to do right now, so that we can see the comments this time, is I will go right on and start sharing to let everybody know.
Here we are.
Monday the 27th already.
27th. Yeah, I know. And then next week is May. Yeah.
Yeah, this month just flew.
Didn't it? I know. It's got to be one of the fastest months in history, that one.
It really did go quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, just sharing this to our pages. So how have you been, Rachel? How has your weekend been?
The weekend, we didn't do a lot, actually. We just did washing and hanging out, and there was a special Pokemon thing going on. Thomas and Benji went out and collected some Pokemon in the parks outside. So, yeah, it was fairly quiet. Things have been so busy and we've been doing so much. It was just like, oh, just got to stop for a bit. I made a rhubarb crumble on Sunday. That was the highlight of the weekend.
Whoa, look at you. That sounds wonderful.
It's an
My
English thing.
my mother loves rhubarb, and she used to make rhubarb pie. It was a little bitter for me when I was younger, but I haven't had it as an adult, and our tastes change. Because I eat a lot of different things now that I never wanted when I was younger. So, but yes, that sounds amazing with custard.
It's very nice, and it's something that was invented during the Second World War when people couldn't make pastry because there wasn't enough flour and butter. And crumble, you get like oats and flour and butter, and so but I mean, you can make it like gluten-free or whatever, and you just sort of rub it together until it's like breadcrumbs, and then you put it on top of the rhubarb with some sugar. I mean, I use coconut sugar quite a lot because I like to think that sugar really doesn't work very well with me, and coconut sugar, it does seem to, there is a difference. So obviously sugar is sugar at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, I really wanted to try coconut sugar though, and
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet at our grocery stores, but it has to be. Maybe I'm just not
I bought
seeing
it
it.
online when I bought it in England. I've bought it from health food stores or from Amazon. Here in Denmark, it's ridiculously expensive. So I tend to buy it when I'm in the UK, in the days when I could travel to the UK.
Okay.
Not at the moment. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. I have it nice and shared. So I am going to, my kitty cat keeps walking back and forth on us here. So we do have, let's see. Can I see? Let's see if it'll let me.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah. Seems delayed for some reason here.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go out and try it.
Yeah.
I'll go out again and try it.
I mean, it is a bit delayed. I don't know how much it is.
Oh, I think that was the last week's one.
Ah.
That's why. Let's see if I can. Sorry, everybody. Just bear with us one moment. Technology is always very interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, now I hope I shared the right one. Oh, boy. I'll just do it again just in case.
God, I hope we're on there.
Our last week's one popped up before this week's, which is strange. We are. I see it. There we go. All right. I see Deborah, Angie, and Alexandra. Welcome. Thank you all for being here. Happy Monday. It still does look like there's a bit of a
yeah, there is
a
delay. There is a bit of a delay.
Yeah. So we apologize, everybody, if we if we don't see your comments on time. It does look like there's a slight delay. So we will do our best, but please feel free to comment and say hello and ask any questions if you have them. We'll try and do our best to keep up.
Perhaps it's all that traveling, the sound traveling from New Jersey to Denmark around the world.
It is. It's getting a little jet lagged. Oh, boy. Gotta love that. All right. So yeah, interesting. Very interesting weekend. My son's birthday was
Oh yeah.
yesterday.
How was it?
It was, I mean, we're in isolation, so what can you really do? And it was his 21st birthday, so that's
Oh,
quite a big deal. Um, but he was content with it. He was content with really just being in, and we did celebrate still. We had some cake, and I tried to surprise him with balloons all over the house,
oh.
but I made a mistake and got the wrong sort of air. Instead of it being helium, it was just air. So the balloons were not, and I just grabbed them really quickly before he got home and threw them all in his bedroom all over the place. So I was like, yeah, surprise. We do our best.
Yes, yes, exactly. And things as they are right now, I mean, yeah, you
Yeah, Angie just commented, blame it on retrograde season. So, yeah, Pluto just went into retrograde, and to me, I'm not an astrologer, and I tell everybody this is a forefront. But I must have been in many other lifetimes, because I just see bits of information about planets, and it clicks,
yeah.
and I really pay a lot of attention to it. So. Pluto did just go retrograde, and that to me is the planet, like the king of the underworld. That's how I see Pluto. And so that means shadows. The underworld is not bad. But it is the place where it's where we must go in order for deep healing to occur. So there has been a theme of dreams that I've noticed within myself, friends, clients messaging me, that seem maybe a little scary, thought-provoking, maybe revisiting past traumas or circumstances that came up in their dreams. Because Pluto is that planet of rebirth and shadow. It is the furthest away from us. Very mysterious, out there in the deep dark. So it is about bringing the deep dark up, not for bad reasons, although it feels like it, but it's about dealing with them so that we can really ascend and move on from them. That's only one of the things that's going on, though.
Yeah.
It's like a big old culmination of if you could have explosive, if there's like these really rare explosive alignments that could happen, they're happening.
Wow. And it does feel like it. It really does feel like it. I mean, this last week, not much has happened like on the outside, but on the inside, it's really been a busy week. And and I think I am just feeling a bit tired from it all now. It's like, and it's not calming down, is it?
No, it just keeps happening. And there was back in January, if everybody remembers, there was this 500-year alignment. It hasn't happened in over 500 years, and it was Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, all aligned in Capricorn. And that hasn't happened in 500 years. But Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn aligning, when they happen, they almost feel like they're like the bad boys, They come in to kind of stir the pot a bit. And those alignments do happen a little bit more frequently, but it's still very rare. And when you go back throughout history, every time they align, something collectively is going on between, World War II, I think it might have been, maybe the Revolutionary War, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong with the exact specifics, but like that. So lots of major life-altering events. And that was in January, which is right about when this coronavirus started really coming up. We know it was a little earlier than that, but that's really when it made its mark. So it's not bad that they're happening, but it doesn't feel great. But it's all necessary. Saturn is the planet of karma. So it does bring up all of those old karmic things that are out of alignment within us or need resolving, so we don't keep falling into the same karmic loop and cycles over and over again.
I mean, the last week for me has been like really intense, but just I think you mentioned something about this last week. I've just had just the most amazing inspiration, ideas coming through. And then you also mentioned this the other day when we were talking, the whole love thing. That's so, I mean, I've had these amazing things going on in my heart chakra, and it's just like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's like I'm left tired. I'm really left tired.
Yes.
From it, because like even the good
that's
stuff tires you out. I mean, it all tires you out, doesn't it?
it really does. Yeah. Think about what if you can really step out of your physical perspective and think about it on a really big perspective, like seeing yourself outside of your body, realizing that all of these things that are happening, it's like taking us from our physical and pulling us out of it and moving us into this higher alignment. And that's really difficult to do. It does take a whole, because it's all about vibration and density. And we need to lose some of that density to rise up higher. So it does take a toll on our physical
it's weird though.
energy
I
levels.
feel like I'm being pulled into my body, like the other way around. Like it's all becoming so physical, like all the love and all these feelings. It feels like they're for the first time like really coming down into my body, and it's a like 100% felt experience rather than, you know, being up in the higher. So it's like the higher vibrations and the body is sort of gone whoop, into the same
Well,
place.
it's because also our higher selves, you know, our higher mind, that higher awareness is also merging with the lower. So it does. It's like it's where the physical is being pulled up, the higher is being pulled down. So there's that union that's happening, that balance, if that makes sense.
No, it does. It does. And I'm sure, you know, other people are experiencing that as well.
Yeah, we actually have a comment, a great comment here from Christopher Scott. Hello, Christopher. He actually says, integrating the shadow, healing the generational trauma. And that's 100% accurate. That's really what's going on. Not just generational, but ancestral. I mean, we're healing collective trauma. And what's really interesting, and I see there's lots of people popping in. Hello, Lala, welcome. Angie says those are the next to go retrograde is Saturn, Venus, and Jupiter. May is going to be real fun, everyone, real fun. And I say that with the utmost of sarcasm. It's just go with the flow, ride the waves, everybody. Hello, Liz, welcome. But and Christopher said that's because you're such a grounded pillar. Yeah, I think he's referring to your comments, Rachel.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's why I've been working on this for many.
And many lifetimes, I'm sure. Yeah. Another thing that is going on is so I had a dream last night, and I'm kind of responding to Christopher's comment about the generational wounds. We are actually doing so much work healing the mother wounds. And last night, I actually had a dream. It's been 2 nights in a row that there's been some sort of feminine mother type symbolism in my dreams. But last night, it was very, very prominent that it was healing mother or sacred feminine wounds in the collective. And I was actually healing what I believe, I don't know if it's just my personal incarnation or if I was working through specific events that happened in ancient Greece, because I was in Greece doing the healing. So it was really, really interesting. And Venus, who is the planet of the sacred feminine, is actually moved into a very powerful alignment today. It's supposed to be moving into a crown and soul star. It's embodying both our gateways here. So today is considered a portal day, everybody. That means that the energies and the gates are opening to flood this beautiful Venusian feminine, and I don't mean feminine in a sense of female. I mean, for those of you who aren't familiar with the polarity of source and cosmic heart energy, it is both feminine and masculine, which is we all. So this feminine healing is coming in to bring us into, think about the chakras. It's coming in through these gateways, crown and soul star, which is our higher connection to source. This is really bringing in that sacred feminine higher consciousness and deep healing of those feminine wounds in men, women, the collective, and planet Earth. Very powerful.
I've got a stellar gateway chakra essence here. I'm just gonna
look at you.
Spray that around a bit.
Yes.
Well, I've got a really nice story to tell. Yeah, here's a bit for everyone else as well. I've got a really nice story to tell you from my swim. Well, I said swim is a bit of a grand word because it was a very fast going in and out of the water. So I went I talked about on the show last week. I went to the fjord this morning with my friend Hannah. Hi, Hannah, if you're watching. And there was 2 swans there, and it was 7 o'clock in the morning, and so the light's quite special. I mean, it's been up a while because it gets light early this time of year here, but they were sort of glowing a bit, you know, in that light. And Hannah said, "Oh, I've been here all week." And I was just like, "Oh, they're so beautiful." And then I had a bit of a swim, and I got out of the water, and there's like a jetty there, and I was standing there. And then Hannah went, "Oh, look." And then there was one swan on top of another swan doing what swans like to do this time of year. And then they were next to each other and they put their heads together and made a heart.
Oh, how beautiful.
It was so beautiful. So beautiful. I mean, just like my heart just opened, and talk about portals. And
wow.
I mean, Jamie, it was just, I've never, you know, I mean, it was just such a blissful, beautiful moment. And
wow.
I can't help feeling that there was so much depth and meaning in that. It wasn't just a coincidence that happened at that moment. And like you're talking about, like the divine feminine and the goddess energies, that's what's really been coming in for me the last few days, is the Shekinah energies. And I mean, they're all the same, aren't they? Venus and Shekinah. And
yes.
But I was initiated as a priestess of the Shekinah years ago, and I really just relate to that energy, and it's something I've always wanted to work more with, but it's always sort of been at the center of everything without sort of. And now I think, now, you know, I've been thinking the last few days, this is the time now. It's connected to this love energy that I'm feeling as well. It's like it needs to be emanated more strongly.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And Venus is the heart chakra. So Venus is all about love and worth. So that's incredibly important for that raising up of the collective, is to really come into that place of your heart centers, coming into not just the sacred feminine, but coming into the alignment of that balance of the feminine and the masculine, which I really feel like the swans were representing. This is a time, I don't know if some of the ancient civilizations actually celebrated Beltane at this time of year, April 30th, actually, and May 1st. And this is the time where the symbolic representations of the god and goddess energy as one would come together, and they would fertilize the land. And this is a very fertile time. So that was very much a beautiful, it looks to me like a representation. And the swans are very much the embodiment of source spirit energy with their purity and their white and transformation, because they represent transformation.
Yeah, and they've just been sacred to so many cultures. And I was wondering, when I saw the heart shape that they made, I thought perhaps that's where it came from.
An interesting story is that there is a star known as Cygnus. And Cygnus is actually supposedly supposed to be in the shape, the whole Cygnus star system takes shape of a swan in the sky, and it is directly above the heart chakra of Earth, which is Glastonbury Tor, and it's actually believed to open up and channel these energies down into Mother Earth's heart chakra every so often. I don't know how often, but So that's just chills.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's it. I'm just really feeling all of that. There used to be a lovely like online bookstore called Cygnus in the UK, but I think it's gone the way of a lot of businesses now because of the internet. Really, it's like yeah. They used to get like a magazine, and you could order it like through the magazine, and then they went online. But then everybody went online, so it was like yeah. But they used to tell a lovely story about Cygnus and all that. But yeah, many years ago now.
Wow. Yes, I'm actually doing a Venusian priestess star activation tomorrow for myself. So that will be incredibly interesting because of this beautiful alignment. And depending on where you are between tonight and tomorrow, Venus will be the brightest in the sky. I think people have been seeing it already. It's the Venus and the moon alignment together. It will be the brightest in the sky. So either you'll be able to see it this evening or tomorrow evening. So it just depends on where you're at.
Oh, wow. Because I have been seeing Venus a lot the last month. So I take it if I look out, it'll be sort of in the same place. It's not one of these ones that keeps moving about all over the place, is it?
No, you should. It does move, but usually when you see it, when it comes to alignment with the moon, you do usually see it there in that same position. Because I notice it in the same position in the sky all the time. Yeah. So
gonna be looking out.
And so with that said, a lot of people know that I actually channel light language. And so to assist, since I am so very connected with Venus and the Sophia Shekinah energies as well, and working with the sacred part of my major work here is working with the sacred feminine wounds and healing here in the collective and in Mother Earth. And if that is something that people would be interested in, I am absolutely willing to assist in kind of paving the way for these beautiful light codes that Venus is sending into the planet with a light language activation and transmission.
Ooh, Jamie, sounds wonderful and very timely.
Yeah. Yes. So we can get to that a little bit later if people want to hang out closer toward the end of the discussion today, and I'd love to do that.
Well, I got some new cards today.
You did?
These ones. Yeah.
Ooh.
I've been a bit excited about getting them. I first ordered them. They're light language.
The language of light.
Yeah, this one, the secret language of light. I ordered it from the UK, and then they wrote to me the day later and says it's been destroyed. And I was like, yeah.
What?
Oh my God.
What?
Yeah.
What has been destroyed?
It had been damaged, and then they didn't have any more in stock. And then in the end, I just wrote to them and said, "Look, I'll just cancel the order." And I found some in Denmark. And the interesting thing is, because when it arrived, I don't know if I got my other book there. Hang on. I opened it up, and it said on here, "Danske Gilbo," and I was like, "Oh no!" I've managed to get the only copy in Danish.
Oh no!
But then it had this inside, and I thought, oh no, actually that's fantastic, because when people come and see me and I do readings and they're Danish, it's really helpful for them to be able to read it in Danish as well. So that's really been worth getting, actually. But yeah, I want because it's my new pack. I've just been freshly opened 2 hours ago.
New cards are always so exciting.
I know. It's like Benji, my 7-year-old. He used to watch all these unwrappings of what was it? Trash Pack. And they're like these silly things, these sort of things that are made out of garbage, and they're called things like putrid pizza and things like that. I used to sit and watch that on YouTube and watch them unwrapping these things, and it was just like, We're the same, really, but with Oracle cards. I haven't bought a new pack for ages.
Oh, well, then it was high time you did. and what a perfect time to receive them.
And it was after I saw some of your cards, I thought, all of my cards don't hold these new energies, and I need some that do. I'm pulling one now. What have I got?
Yes.
Oh wow. Ooh, lovely.
Oh, oh, I almost wore that necklace
Vesica
today.
Pisces.
Well, that is incredibly fitting.
Because
Ooh, look at that.
it's
And the
a portal,
heart.
isn't it? With the hearts. And that's what I was thinking
Mm-hmm.
when I was realizing, I was thinking about telling you about the swan story. And I thought, yeah, and it was a heart. And we've called this evolving into the cosmic heart. It's all about the heart, the heart.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Wow.
Wow. Oh, that's a
Isn't it? So
beautiful
pretty.
card. And such a beautiful sacred geometric symbol for representing the union between the masculine and the feminine, which is what gives birth through the yoni symbol there in the center, giving birth to divine love here on the planet.
I had a dream years ago when I was a hypnotherapist. I went and trained how to sort of do hypnobirthing type thing, although hypnobirthing is a trademark. So you can't say you do hypnobirthing. But I
Wow.
trained how to do, you know, helping people.
Okay. I have
Haven't
never heard of
you?
this
Oh yeah,
before.
it's really good. You
No.
learn basically like how to do self-hypnosis and or get your partner to hypnotize you, because it really helps with the pain release and being relaxed. And of course you can do all the affirmations leading up to the birth, and hypnobirthing is like a trademarked thing, and I think you get it in the States.
Wow.
I mean, get it here, but I think it
Hmm.
might even be more of a thing there. And I had this dream, and I woke up, and the goddess was there, and she'd said, "Got to call it Vesica Pisces birthing," with the sign and everything.
Wow. Oh, that's so
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. But I have to say, where I lived in Surrey, I did. I mean, obviously, I did work with some women, and there was this one woman. She just used it amazingly. She had like 4, maybe 3, could be 4. I know they kept coming, babies, and she loved it. She loved using it, and she was just like, it was to her that was just so much fun to have babies at home with a birthing pool
Wow.
using these things. It's like, yeah. Yeah, but otherwise,
Wow.
where I live, there is
I
one of the
love
highest
that.
percentage rates of cesarean sections in the country. So yeah, it was very
Mm.
medical. Oh, it says creating soul truth in the world. Fancy that. The outside world feels more real than the inner world because we have been encouraged to focus more on what is outside of us. Well, that's interesting because I was saying to you at the beginning, I don't know if maybe it was before we came on air, but maybe I just said it just now. Just saying, it has so much stuff been going on inside me, but not much happening like on the outside. So
Outside.
soul truth.
Yeah, and that's what this isolation is really serving. You know, if we can step out of the physical, the outside
Yeah,
focus on, you know, what's changed, what we're all kind of struggling with accepting, and use this time to come within and really pull out that stuff, that good stuff that's down there. This is a very
it
transformational
is, and
time.
so before we came on tonight, I remember to write a few things down in my journal. And I don't write in it every day or anything like that. Just when it's those moments where either I'm like unburdening, or it's these special moments because at the time it seems like you'll never forget, but they do fade. And what's happening right now is so special to us, and yet there's not much happening on the outside. It's all on the inside. So it's even more important to write it down, because then in years ahead we can look back. Like I can look back and remember the thing about the swan and go, oh my god, yeah. And then with
Mm-hmm.
hindsight, it's even more special, isn't it? Because then we will have known like what's coming. And
Mm-hmm.
this just feels to me like at the moment, and the sort of the tragedy and the sorrow and all of that. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to ask everyone to sort of join in like a circle of love, but I'll get to that in a minute. The heartbreak and everything is what's opening us up so much, and also like having to deal with the
Yeah.
challenges of our instinctual fear, I would like to call it, because in that way I think it takes off the burden of, I shouldn't be feeling this, because instincts are instincts and they're biological, and it is an instinctual thing to want to, you know, run away from infectious illnesses. And, you know, no mind over matter is going to change that. But where the mind comes in, or the spirit comes in, is there's so much you can do to spiritualize that challenge. And that's the alchemy, isn't it? And that's why, you know, everything that I love working with is all about alchemy. But I was thinking about, so you remember on the first one we did the prayer, I read that prayer out for the dead. And then I'm part of a Nordic shaman group, because we're all doing our training. Would have finished this year, but now it's going to finish next year. And I'm really happy about that, because I've got that much more time to process everything that's happening. But we've been working with making like rune sigils for COVID-19, but also like psychopomp work for like helping people like pass over. And I thought, because there's just so much isolation at the moment, people dying on their own. But also, like, I was reading, because I used to be a nurse, I get really interested in like what's happening in the hospitals. And they were saying about the babies, the parents can't stay. The babies are having to be on their own. I mean, they've got the staff, you know, and the staff are there and looking after them. But and I just thought, they can draw on the love in the collective, though. Although we can't be there physically, there's so much that we can send out, like from our hearts and our spirits. And so if it's okay, if, you know, obviously if you're not driving or anything like that, not operating machinery or being responsible in any way, and you can just close your eyes for a moment. And I just like us to imagine that we're all holding hands together, and when we do these things together, it's just so powerful, and we amplify each other. And just imagine your heart opening, and we're just sending out love to the collective, to all the people, the old people, the young people, the babies, who are isolated and alone, and who need that human connection, that human touch. And we're like sending out like a reservoir of like yumminess, you know, when you want to hug your children, or you want to hug your mum or your partner, or, you know, think about people you love and hugging them, and just send out that kind of yummy hug love in the most beautiful way possible. Because those people who are alone and isolated and frightened can draw on this and know that we love them. We might not know who they are or where they are or what's happening to them, but, you know, we're all in this together. We're all connected. We're all part of like one thing. And just send that yummy love out to all of them, through your hands, through your hearts, through your bodies, through your souls, through every part of you, and your spirit and mind and all of it. And it really means something that we're doing this. And like I said, doing it together, it makes it even more potent and wonderful and grounded. Oh, thank you.
Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. What's interesting is I was having some pressure in my womb area as I was doing that. And it reminded me that part of this gateway with Venus is aligning our womb. Even for men, you know, you have a chakra there. So where your womb would be for men and women, our womb area. So that sacral chakra, our heart chakra, and our third eye, which is bringing the creation energy of divine love into your perspective and consciousness. So it was almost like we were birthing it at the same time we were sending it from our hearts.
That's really interesting. You said that. Do you remember the other week I said it would be interesting to find out what was the difference? So, you know, the fact that we call Monday, Moon Day, and Friday, Fire or Freak Day, you know, that's creating like a foundation of energy. So I did a little thing. I learned to do this at Findhorn. I've worked at Findhorn for a few months, and that's a spiritual community up in Scotland, and they do things by attunement. So if you go and work there, you have to tune into, are you going to be part of the cleaning team? or are you going to be part of the kitchen team? And you call in the angel of Findhorn and you do all this stuff. But it's helped me sort of deal with some things, practical things in everyday life by doing this attunement thing. But you can also do it for sort of more spiritual things. And so I wrote Monday down on a piece of paper and I wrote Friday down on a piece of paper, and I sat and held one and noticed what the energy was like, and then I sat and held the other and noticed what the energy was like, and they were very, very different. But what I was going, let me see if I can. So Monday, right, I've written, I felt it really deep in my sacral chakra, womb energy. And then Friday,
Wow.
I felt it in the head and hands. It's much more cosmic, but it was like round here. But it was that, it made me think of it as you were saying about the womb and the third eye, but they're both female, aren't they? Those energies. Mm-hmm. So perhaps there's a connection. Sort of, we go from, I don't know, cosmic to birth in it, or I don't know.
Yeah. So it's just powerful and there's so many energies really assisting in the process. You know, the planet Uranus is in conjunction with that Saturn, karma, Pluto stuff going on. And Uranus is known to be the great awakener. And one of my own cards today that I pulled, actually have it sitting here. I'll show it to you. It was my own personal for the day, but I just love the symbolism of it because it really shows us what's happening, what it looks like. And I don't know if everybody can see this, but it is awakening.
Yeah.
And look at that with the flower of life, and look at the big lotus that looks like a massive brain, having a lot of energy activations there. So this is what's happening. This birthing energy, this divine love is this massive awakener.
It does feel like that. I really,
that makes sense.
It's just so mega. It's just so mega what's happening. I've never felt anything. There was a lot that came in with, like, when I was doing all my priestess training. When was that? It was when, it's when I was pregnant with Josh, who's 17 now, and the Magdalene Flame was coming in, and when we're doing all these amazing group meditations, bringing in the Magdalene Flame, and people were doing it all over the world, and that was an amazing time. But this time, I think I'm just like, that many years on, and for me, there's just so much personal stuff happening. It's like, I really do feel like that. I really feel like I'm awakening,
Yes. Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm going to look into some of these comments because lots of people have some interesting things that they are saying regarding, for example, hello, Rosa Maria. Thank you for tuning in. She said during the little guided visual that you did with us, she saw a warm blanket being placed over people.
Yes.
It's so beautiful. And then we have, hi, Carla and Dawn. They just popped in and joined us. Christopher had said, yes, beautiful celestial swan energy. Right before you mentioned Cygnus, that's exactly what I was thinking too. So that's fascinating there. He has all this co-creation collection, collective mind here. And then Angie said there's an app called Skyview that could help locate where the planets are for you, for those wanting to, because even if you can't see the planets, it's the same thing with the moon, everybody. If you can't see them because of cloud cover, etc., they're still there. And the energy is there for you to just soak up and absorb.
I'm writing that down.
Yes,
I'll have a look. I did try one once and it was too complicated for me to use. I'll see if this one's any easier.
I have used the Skyview. Yeah, it's not too hard. It just, I always have a hard time getting back out of it. But Skyview, I have used it before. It's really cool. I like that. Hi, Candace. Hi, Doreen. Christopher says, sending you all so much love. Jamie, I didn't get to hear your response to my comment because my computer froze, but I will rewatch the video later. Yes, this will be here for everybody to catch back on replay. Lynette says, I agree, Jamie. Venus awakening the Kundalini and healing the womb, seeing the animals that relate to sacral, being guided to cleanse that chakra and heal it. As a collective, females need this, and Mother Earth as well, with Venus assist. Yes, I can agree with that completely. I do think both men and women alike are really, really in need of
Yeah, absolutely.
this
It's not a
healing.
woman thing. It's a everybody. It's a everybody thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. But a lot of women, I think maybe if I'm not wrong, Lynette, correct me if I'm mistaken, but what I feel like Lynette was referring to was there's a lot of women specifically who are holding those mother wounds, those feminine core wounds, and so on a different level, women working with that, healing that area specifically. But yes, so much healing coming in for the feminine.
Definitely.
I
mean, when I started on that divine feminine sort of priestess journey, there was so much healing for the collective that came up, and that, yeah, hopefully that's like going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, Kathleen. She just said the same thing as you.
Yeah.
Collective whole. So I love that. Hi, Reese. Welcome, sweetheart. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here.
I'm sorry. I was downloading
very
Skyview when you were saying about
that. No, don't be sorry. I was trying not to cut you off at the same time. I was trying to acknowledge those that are popping in. I know it can be a little tricky with us seeing these comments on time, but we do try and get to them as best as we can, everybody. We're not ignoring anybody. So
I'm excited.
Just want you to know that and you could take screenshots as well on your phone at the same time. So when you're holding it up and you want to see it in position, it shows you the constellations.
And I wanted to mention that I'm also turning this into a podcast. So if you're a person who likes to listen to these things, if you're out for a walk or something, the links are on our page, and it's on Anchor FM and on Spotify as well.
Spotify, yes. That was so fun to hear someone reach out to Rachel and say, hey, I
stumbled across you on
Spotify.
I was like, wow, that's amazing, because I didn't actually even know Spotify had podcasts. So they do now.
No, so that is wonderful.
What time is it? What are we doing?
Oh, gotta love that. It is
Come
about
on, then.
quarter of.
Come on, activate.
So
activate us, Jamie.
Okay. She said, come on, then activate us. All right. So I will really briefly, for anybody who is new to light language, I will just let you know that this is a language of light, literally. It is not a specific verbatim language that we can understand and translate word for word. It is more of like a consciousness, a knowing when it just comes through and I understand what is occurring. But it's very different depending on what is needing to come through. Light language is very ancient. It's really the form of light codes, symbols, and sacred geometric shapes and sound coming forth to heal through activation. Sometimes it's download, sometimes it's clearing and removing of blocks. But I really did not know I was going to be doing this today until I was getting ready for the show today, and all of a sudden I saw in my mind that it was going to be happening, and I was actually shown why it was happening, and it was really paving the way, which is kind of like, if you think of the many pathways that we have within our bodies, our meridians, our light body, they're all supposed to be linked and connected, but they're not all linked and connected. And this is even our chakras. Sometimes they're disconnected. And so this is because of years and years and lifetimes of blockage, for lack of a better word. So what this does is it's like the team that goes in, the infantry, is coming in to clear those pathways, to break up the debris and make it that much more clear for the Venusian light to come through and just fill us in those chakras or those areas of our light body and physical bodies that are much in need of this alignment right now. Okay. So I do work with it's my own unique language with my soul and source. Sometimes the dialect does change and shift depending on the energies that are working with me. I notice that when I'm working with earthier energies, like a more shamanic type of sound comes through and shamanic energy. But then there are times where it's very light, and I've sounds almost like shifting between different dialects. Sometimes sounds very Hebrew, sometimes very Egyptian, very Essene. It really depends. But I do call specifically the divine Sophia Shekinah energy to flow through me. I'm going to call forth Lady Nada as well as Venus to come through and assist today in this activation and preparing the way. So anybody who is open to receive, because my kitty cat, she's coming in to assist. We got that feline feminine energy there. So it's never harmful. So anyone, though, who does want to participate, all you have to do is set the intention or say out loud. You can even put it in the comments. I am open to receiving the transmission energy and codes that are going to come through today from Jamie. And also, I do ask everybody just to call in your own team of protection, just because when you're opening yourself up, we just want to make sure that it's a sacred space and not anything can just connect with your energy while you are open, because it is important to be open during this. Okay. So I like to call in Archangel Michael and my family of light. And I just ask to please create a safe, protected space around me, preventing any harmful energies or interruption from coming through, so that I am receiving only that in which serves my highest and greatest good. Okay. So if you'd like to close your eyes and just kind of take a few deep breaths in, take one nice deep breath in through your nose. And just release, allowing yourself to relax, all stress and worry to just fall away. Again, nice deep breath in through your nose. Release. One more time, nice deep breath in. And release. Mish yannetit yoranatiatet irot ish in ak barat ish anyet varatashemar ak inat borotishimat iron inak it ish in maratasha irat inat verasha vash anna irot ashim yarat irot anyat et imat ish baratisha makinat akisha Vroshamariater yanater matishan at et it at urot un. And just take another nice deep breath in as we allow those codes to acclimate and adjust into our light bodies. And coming back into your heart center, just allow those energies to enter your heart, filling with divine love, golden light, and feeling lots of deep emotional release and healing going to occur within the next day. So just allow that energy within the center of your heart space. We give thanks to the energies that assisted. Thank you all for participating. And so it is.
That was lovely. Thank you.
Thank you. I see pink and blue. Pink and blue colors are completely almost like I've got glasses on that just see these
feel
colors.
like just round from here to like down to my heart, it's just like this, like aura of those colors. They're just like swirling around. Yeah. I got that urge to sing something. Can I?
Oh, yes, please. Oh, look
it's
at all
just
these
like,
magical treats today.
It's just the heart. Yes. I haven't sung it for a while. It's in Sanskrit. So I might not hit all the right notes and words. but it'll, you know, the energy will be there. But it's like an answer to what you just did. It's like a symphony going on. It's beautiful. All right then. Okay.
Yes.
Namo Ranachraya Yaha Namo Yana Yana Saigara Erojana Vyahara Savatataye Sarataye Namo Ranachraya Namo Saragataya Saravaye Namo Sarakaiti Suraya Namo Tataya Bhagavate Namo Sharakati Suraya Namo Gataya Saravate Suraikati. Oh. Oh, thank you. That was nothing like the words that normally come out. They weren't there. It was just sort of syllables.
Oh, well.
Perhaps it's your light language is like, you know.
Wow. I was seeing symbols during it. While you were singing, the first thing I saw was spirals coming down, and in the center of those spirals was a staff coming right through, which is very symbolic of the information being fed directly to us, or the wisdom, the healing, the codes, or light. And then afterwards, I saw a symbol I often see. I told you I see sometimes like runic and bin runes, and I figure it all out later, but it looks like a cup, you know, like a U, like a letter U. And then underneath it, an upside down letter U. So the bases touch, and then a line going directly through. And I've
and like grounding
that
it. It's like it's
above,
really
so below.
Grounded it, and that's what I felt like. So this leads us really nicely onto. So me and Jamie have been like getting all this stuff coming through, and we're just like, we have to do more with this, because we feel like the people who are being drawn towards this are being drawn to this for a reason, just like we got inspired to do this for a reason. And like I feel, so I've been channeling for lots of years, but I feel there's something new that I need to channel. So, you know, I channel Ascended Master Sarah, and she's very much at the core of what I do. And I don't think she'll leave me, but there's something else coming in. And we have been thinking about starting a group, evolving into the Cosmic Heart group. And we haven't sorted out exactly how we're going to do this. But we just wanted to share it, because we're quite excited.
Yes, it's very. It seems like with what is going on right now, is really pushing this boost up in like consciousness, and a lot of the work that's been coming. It's interesting because it was kind of like what you said with your card decks, and I understood exactly what you meant, because I do feel the difference in the energy. It felt like there was this new energy, new information that's coming through, so you can tell the difference in even the card decks that are being created now. And so it's the same thing with this, the evolving into the cosmic heart space. And the group that we're talking about creating is to bring forth more of this work, very similar to what you just saw happen between Rachel and I. So providing the platform, I guess, for those of you who feel drawn to come and to maybe receive what it is that we are going to be inspired to transmit or share with you, whether it be through Rachel's channeling and my light language, or any other forms of healing and activation. Really a space that we can assist those of you who are ready to also come into that awareness. And just, it's like a growth, right? It's not something that's an overnight or a once and done. It's like, as we keep getting more information, we're bringing you along with us on that journey, if that makes sense
everybody's
to
energy
everybody.
is sparking everybody else's energy. Like this thing that me, you know, we've talked about between me and Jamie, we like, she does something and it sparks me, and I do something and then it sparks her back, and I see that going around the whole circle, and each person that gets drawn just adding another spark. And it's something about us collectively pushing out of our comfort zones that really. So I was telling Jamie about, I get these things when I'm brushing my teeth. I suddenly get this, like, I could feel something when we did the podcast last week, and I could feel like this sort of tense feeling of like, oh, what is this? And I was brushing my teeth, looking in the mirror, going, what is this? And it suddenly came to me, it's like all the things inside of us that want to like blossom out. And I saw this beautiful picture this week of like, you get these huge ferns. I know they grow on Hawaii. I don't know where else they grow. And these huge ferns, and they spiral around like that. They're really tight, and then they grow out. And it's like, we're like that fern at the moment. We're just like waiting to go like this. And it's like, it's all like caught in us, and it's like, oh wow, we're all going to help each other, like go like this. And it's like, we can't do it alone. It's a group thing. It's not about any one of us. It's about the group. And I can feel it coming. And you know, I'm having a lot of problems sleeping at night because I get so excited. And you know, and some nights it's like, I mean, my son's just gone back to school here in Denmark. We just opened up, and some nights it's like, wow, you know, what's going to happen? So it's that some nights, and then other nights it's this, you know, I mean, wow, the times that we're living in, it's just this incredible bliss, feeling excitement. It's like, oh, I can't sleep now, can I?
What do I do with all this energy that I have now? Yeah. So we are hoping to maybe launch that soon and kind of just see where it goes. So anybody who is interested, let us know if you're interested in something like that. And I think that we were talking about maybe opening it for the first month and giving everybody an experience and seeing if it's something that you feel aligned to, connected to, and then afterwards maybe joining in with us and kind of creating like a monthly membership fee. So again, if you're interested, let us know, and we hope to maybe get that up and going soon. Who knows? We say we're going to work on it, and then we get this inspiration, and boom, it's there.
So it's just a question of us, you know, creating it technically, so there's somewhere to put it. You know, that won't take long. So, but yeah, the time is now.
Yes. Yeah, and we've got some interesting comments here with those who regarding the light language and your beautiful song, your mantra. Let's try to scroll back up here to the top and let's see. Hi, Annie. Welcome, love. See you.
I just got another bit. Can I just, sorry. I know.
Annie says,
when you're trying to look at that. I'm sorry. I'm really interested to hear what people are saying, but my brain goes so fast sometimes I lose it. I was thinking, so I started singing that chant. Now I know that chant so well. I can sing it in my sleep. But so my husband said to me tonight, we were having dinner, and he said, so what are you talking about tonight? And I said, I don't know. That's the whole point. Me and Jamie see, I mean, all right, you know, we did want to talk about the group starting. We did know that, but we just let it flow. And that's the whole point, for like divine inspiration to come in. And I have never worked like that in my life. I even like write down the minutes. It will take me 5 minutes to say this, 10 minutes. Do you know what I mean? I like time the whole thing. And when I started singing that chant, it didn't come out at all, like the actual words. And that is one of the whole point of what this is all about. We are not supposed to do what we've done before. We're supposed to just let it just completely let go, and let it be free. Mm-hmm. And in the end, it will come into some sort of, you know, thing. But to just allow that pure creativity. Sorry, I'm
No, that's okay, because that is the sacred feminine. That is the sacred feminine. The sacred masculine is more the doing, the planning, the logistics, the analytics, you know, and it's very different. It's finding the way to take that sacred masculine, the way of doing things, and applying it to a whole new different way, almost like it's being coddled and nurtured by the sacred feminine. And when we just set the platform with no direction, allow it to go, that's giving birth to something divine, because we're just allowing it to come through us versus trying to. We get so wrapped up sometime, even me, when I'm planning a lot of my classes and stuff, it's all very planned, sometimes at the last minute, but it's very, very planned, and like I said, I didn't know that I was doing this light language transmission today until right as I was getting ready to pop on here. So just gotta love it. That's what the experience is that we want to bring.
Yeah, and we want all of you to bring out these things in yourself. That is the whole point. That is the whole point. And we were thinking, like, one day a month we would have like a members day, and people like can come on and practice their thing, or just see what happens, because it's a safe environment to do it. And it's very hard to go from not trying it at all to having to do it in public and people are expecting something from you. But in this way, it would be a safe way just to try something out, and everybody will love you anyway. However, whatever happens, you don't have to like be scared about it. We'll all love you. And I'm sure it'd be fabulous anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. And that's how you start, that's really how you get started in feeling and experiencing those things, because it's one thing to have something come out of you when you're doing it by yourself. It's another thing, because that's how light language started coming through me. It just started coming out when I was by myself, and I was like, then I started getting messages to share it, and I was very afraid. And some of the women tuning in, they remember all of this. I was very afraid to share it, and then it was just like, do it with your healing sessions. And then it was like, do it when you're online live. And I'm like, oh no. And that was it was scary, but it was how apparently I needed to learn. But for anyone this is birthing through, or different things like that are coming through, and you want to share, this is that space.
New, isn't it? So like for me, something else is going to come through, I'm channeling. Oh, that's a bit scary. But if you know you're in a safe and supportive environment, it makes such a difference. It just helps, just like blah, 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 blah. That's it. You were going to read some of the comments out. I stopped you.
Yeah. Oh, so we have Angie said, thank you for sharing a sacred part of yourselves today. So thank you for allowing us, for being here with us while we did that. Reese said, that was amazing. I could feel and see things firing. I think this might have been right before you did this might have been during the light language. Karen says, amazing. I heart space feels so light and open. My heart space. Beautiful as always. Angie says, oh, my heart. Kathleen says, wow, that was awesome. I feel like I have heard this before. And then Angie said that she loves her some mantra. And it was very lovely, from Rosemaria. Karen says, wow, thank you. I have tears. Such a beautiful song. It felt so familiar. Christopher says, very lovely, or lovely. Angie says, love Sanskrit. Christopher, we have to become active conduits. We got to come online, come alive, come on light.
We're all coming
Beautiful
into
way of saying that.
That is exactly it. Yeah, just like everything's lining up. I can so feel it. And we'll never experience anything like this again. This is just, it's so special.
I think we talked about that
this time. We're going to make the most of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we talked about that like 2 weeks ago, when we talked about, and I said I was hearing coming online, and I saw these lights, like, you were laughing at me, so I was like, ping, ping, ping. You see all the lights pinging. Christopher says, change reactions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Christopher, you are really on point. Angie says, a salutation of the heart is what I heard from the mantra. Yeah. It's beautiful. Rosemary says, it's about everyone. Kathleen says, collective, like vibration, raised together, stronger than as solo.
So that's something I want to try. Is
what it's about
singing
now,
without knowing what I'm going to sing, and just let it come out, because I was trying to remember how to, and it just wouldn't. So don't even try. It's like, you know, and then
no, it was like, no.
I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, that's going to be very interesting. I love that. I remember when I first started working with you, and you were doing, I don't remember what it was, maybe some of the Violet Flame stuff we were doing. And I'd never really worked with mantras myself. And I heard one for the first time ever while I was kind of on my own doing one of the exercises that you had prompted us to. And I remember to this day, clear as day, it was Shri Namahaye. And I say this over and over now because I didn't understand what it meant at the time, but I believe between you and Angie Walters actually helped me kind of translate that. And it was really like celebrating or welcoming in the presence of the Divine Mother or the sacred feminine energy in a nutshell. So I thought that was beautiful. I really love it. And I love when you sing because you have the most beautiful voice, and it really just,
it's another way of channeling.
It's beautiful. Just gonna say that. Yeah. Oh, I love it. And light language, well, Sanskrit is believed to be one of the original forms of a light language come to earth. So that's beautiful. Rose Maria says, I'd never advertised or wanted to do remote Reiki, and the other day I felt it was time. Good for you, Rose Maria. I think you were talking about that last week during something that came up during our conversations. Let's see. Christopher says, totally interested in the community that you guys are birthing, that we are all collectively birthing. Wonderful. Jillian, welcome, love. Lala says, I've had the same experience. She was replying to Rose Maria. I'm having the call to offer my sound healing remotely. I love this. I love this. Anna says, yes, evolution to openness and freedom of gathering and sharing without specific agenda has come, all opening to a bigger picture. You are all really wonderful and receptive and on point with this. You're receiving this information themselves. So beautiful. And what a great place to start for those like Karen with the sound healing and Rose Maria with the remote healing. Also, a great place with this group.
And I feel like at the beginning I would feel quite tired, and now I have this sense of focus. And what's the opposite of being scattered? Integrated, maybe. Yeah. I mean, these are, like I said, these are so intense. These energies coming in and so big, and yet as a group I feel like we can like harness them, make the most out of it.
Yeah, and anchor it together. Because you think about that, with it being that collective, one of us doing one thing, it's like Christopher said, that chain reaction that happens in all of us. And think about I always see activation work in a group setting as like crystals on a massive crystal grid. And so each of us, where you are with that, whatever it is that you're receiving, let's say it's in the form of a light. At this time, that light is turning on. It's being anchored where you are, and anchored where Rachel is, and anchored where I am. And then you see all of these lights being anchored down into the matrix. It's just
very good stuff. And thank you for that lovely light language activation you did. So just remind me again, what's happening tomorrow with Venus?
Oh, you're welcome. So between today and tomorrow, Venus has moved into alignment with the moon, but also entering into the gateways of the crown, and I feel the soul star, which is just above your crown chakra, everybody. This is like your gateway to source, if you will. And so what is happening is it's bringing in this awareness that is filling us, flooding us with this beautiful Venusian feminine light of higher consciousness. And the process of that is bringing alignment in our sacral chakras, our heart chakra, and our third eye chakras. So what that is it's the birthing of divine love, and higher feminine consciousness.
I think I've been getting that early.
Consciousness perspective, if that makes sense. that would make sense, because some of like Karen and myself talk about that. When something is going to happen that I'm meant to work with and help others with, I'll receive it first. So I get the experience of it, understand it, and it places me in the position to be able to help others understand it.
Yes, we've gone 10 minutes over again. Why we've got to make another group, because
there's
just too much here, isn't there? And we want to do more. So, and it's like these energies are in us, so we have to do more, otherwise we might explode.
Yes, and you won't be able to sleep anymore. So, oh. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for participating with us today and being with us. And I will just add that with these energies that are coming in right now with Venus, it is important to allow yourself rest as well. The reason for that is because anytime there is a massive flood of energy coming through, or what we call like gateway days, it can, as we talked about in the beginning, take a bit of a toll on our physical body as well as on our energy body. So it's really important to allow yourself to rest. I'm going to be doing that for the rest of the day after this. I'm going to actually be rescheduling my moon day today and listening to the guidance that
well
comes
done,
through.
Jamie.
So
and I also now feel really good
about
about the fact that after I went swimming today, I've done virtually nothing all day, which is really rare for me. And now I can feel like really like that was so spiritual of me to do that.
It was so spiritual
because it was the gateway.
It's very sacred feminine of you as well. Very much about honoring.
I was swimming in the portal.
And you were swimming in the portal.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, love it. Thank you so much, everybody, for being with us. And all of your lovely feedback. We appreciate it. We love the interaction between us all.
Lots of blessings.
Have a wonderful day and have a wonderful week.
Oh, the cat's saying goodbye.